Well, welcome to the first day of class for medical office terminology. I'm sitting here in my classroom, and it's the first day of classes on campus. Everybody is socially distancing. We've got our masks on, and we're making this happen. So I just have a few things I was going to touch on for today. It's just an introduction, basically, for getting into the class, getting everything set up. So, all right. You are in medical office terminology, and this class is a combination of in-person and online. I do my in-person and recordings on Wednesday. So this Wednesday at 2:30, I'm actually going to have the lecture for chapter 1. So this today is just going to cover getting started. So hopefully you go to this very first module here, and your syllabus is actually in this document, the welcome, and you are getting automatic access to an ebook, so I'm going to show you how you can set that up. Here is your syllabus and assignment schedule and your grading scale, how everything's going to be broken down. Now, the assignment schedule, this is not likely to change. I mean, it could, but this is pretty well laid out what we're going to be working on in this class. So we do reviews and quizzes for every chapter. You are going to have some group discussion boards. One of the things I do want to encourage you to do when you get into your Blackboard is to consider putting a profile picture or an avatar, some kind of graphic to represent who you are. To do that, when you log into Blackboard like I am on this page here, come over here to the left-hand side and click on your name, and then you can hover over the icon to edit your picture. So again, I really recommend that you have a picture or a cartoon or some kind of graphic that kind of visualize who you are, because we're going to do a lot of interaction online. So that's just really helpful to have that visual to go along with it. So that's one thing I want to encourage you to do. And our assignment calendar, we looked at that. We do have an introduction discussion board. Several of you have already gotten in there, so that's awesome. Right here is the syllabus quiz. This is due by, I believe it's next Tuesday, August 25th. So I have to look at my assignment calendar. But this is a pretty easy quiz. You just have to answer true that you've reviewed the syllabus and agree to its policies. But I do need you to make sure you do that step, because the students that don't do that, we drop them from the class as a no-show. So it's kind of a good technique to prevent students from staying in a class when they're not participating. So then other problems don't occur from that later on. That's our welcome and getting started. Over here to the left-hand side, you see a place for books and tools. This is where we're going to get to our Connect and our ebook. I am going to touch just quickly right here where it says Blackboard Collaborate. This is where you can join the live online sessions. You just click on that link to go to the course room. And you do have some other additional settings here on this menu icon to view the recordings. So specifically, this is where you're going to go to view your recordings, which I don't have any in here right now. But when I finish this recording, that's where it's going to be. So again, you hover over the ellipsis on Blackboard Collaborate to go to view all recordings. This is where you join the online sessions. All right, our online book, we go to books and tools here. And then you're going to, I got to let this load. Give it a minute. Right here, Connect. We need to go to Connect. And you need to make sure if you register with your email that it's going to be your KCTCS email. Otherwise, your grades can't sync. Okay, and then once you get into Connect, this is what your view is going to look like. And again, you get to this from the Course Tools link in Blackboard. So right over here is the ebook where it says Read. This is just showing your list of assignments. So if I go over here to the ebook, it's going to pop open in another browser. I'm going to click OK to that pop-up. And here is the ebook. To get to my table of contents, I come to this area right at the top. They call that a hamburger menu. It was something it looks like a little hamburger, okay? So I was like, what? But that's what it's called. Once you get to your menu, you can get to other chapters. So if I wanted to start at chapter 1, right here is the very beginning, the introduction. I can click on my arrow keys, and I'm reviewing my ebook. There's also an app. It's called SmartBook that you can consider downloading on your iPhone or iPad. I use my iPad for the SmartBook app. and you can look at your books electronically that way, just like a Kindle. So this is how you're going to get started for your reading requirements. And you don't need a paper book unless you just want one. Let me hop back into Blackboard here. Now this Wednesday at 2:30, I'm going to have my first official class session. We're going to go over this first module here, Introduction to Medical Language. Every week is going to have a lesson plan, and this is going to explain what I want you to do. So we're covering Chapter 1. I want you to read Chapter 1. We're going to review the PowerPoint this Wednesday. I really want you to take advantage of either joining the online classes or listening to the recordings, mainly because we do a lot of pronunciation. So a lot of these words, you need that extra help. The pronunciation can really get you. We do self-check worksheets, so when you come in person, I have copies of those that we work on, and online as well. You can download it. So you have to do this weekly practice to get better. That's real important for skill building, and medical terminology, just like most things, is a skill. Your Chapter 1 review and quiz assignments. You've got your learning objectives here, and then if you want to download the PowerPoint that I'm going to be reviewing, you can access this anytime. So again, this is what I'm touching on this Wednesday. A lot of times in the lesson plan, there'll be extra videos and things for you to check out, like watching a video on the musculoskeletal system on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is like the most amazing resource, free, that we could ever ask for. And then the chapter worksheets that we work on in class, we spend a lot of time going over medical records in the SOAP format, which you're probably wondering, what does that mean? We're going to have to wait till we get to the lesson, but these are just, you can print these off at home, but you really need to do this interaction with the worksheets. You need to be writing these terms, using paper or pencil, doing some kind of interaction for the skill building. So that's what we're going to work on this Wednesday, and that's really everything I wanted to touch on, just as an introduction to the class. So right up here, these menus, you can access your calendar for due dates on this class. You can go to the discussions link. This takes you directly to the discussion board, which we have our introduction. You have your grades tab right here. And then course messages. This is where I send messages to you guys, but I really prefer a straight email because when you send a course message to me from here, it doesn't automatically get to me. It might take a day or so because I don't check it constantly like I do my email. My email is always open, so that's the best way to get in touch. And I think I have covered everything I wanted to touch on. So we're going to get through this semester together. It's going to be a great one. If you have any questions in the meantime, just send me an email.